Hello, I'm Ilsa and today I'm here to do another book haul video. This is going to be my March and April book haul and there are quite a lot of them. I don't have a lot of them here. I've lent them to friends and boyfriend, so maybe it'll be quicker than it might otherwise be. The first book I got was an ebook called Of A Quiet Kind of Thunder. This is a book about a girl who doesn't talk. It has selective mutism. I read it for this book club that we've just started in London through the Meet YA group. I will put a link to that in the description. It was a really interesting book. I'll probably talk about it in a reading wrap up soon if I haven't already. I feel like I've talked about that one. But maybe not. The next book I got in March is one that I've lent to my boyfriend, and that is A Conjuring of Magic by Victoria Schwab. This is the third book in the Shades of London series. I really enjoyed it. I was a bit nervous going in because although I've loved all of the Victoria Schwab books that I've read, I realised that this is the first one of hers that is the end of a series that I've read, and I was a little nervous about how it was going to go. But I think she did it really well. I was really happy with the ending and it's one of my favourite books of the year so far. Next I got Chaos Choreography by Shawn Maguire. This is one of her encrypted series. I think it's about book 4 or 5. It's book 5. This is a series that I really enjoy. I don't want to say too much about it for fear of spoiling earlier things, but this is back to following Verity, who is the star of the first couple of books. There was then a couple of books focusing on her brother, and now we're back to Verity again. You always know from the start of the story that Verity is a ballroom dancer, and in this book you really get to see the ballroom coming in, and I love that. I like to dance, and I've done a couple of beginners ballroom classes, so it was really fun story to read. There's a lot of cool stuff that I love in these books. My favourite is the Aisling mice, who are this colony of talking mice who take it upon themselves to kind of document Verity's family and make it into their kind of religion, and they are so fun to read about. There's a lot of different supernatural beings that come into this series. I love how Miss Maguire explores the mythology. So I really enjoyed this, and there is at least one more in the series available at the moment. I'm sure she's planning more, and I really want to get that one soon. The next couple of books I got were courtesy of my friend Jim, who was giving some away, and I got The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I forget who read it just now. I'll try and put a cover up there. And I also got Winter Song by S.J. Jones. I haven't read either of those yet. I'm going to try and get to them soon because I love that cover on Winter Song and it sounds really good. Next book that I want to mention that I got in March is It's Just One Damn Thing After Another by Jodie Taylor. This is a kind of steampunk-ish book, I think. There's time travel involved, so I'm hoping to read this one soon. It's the first in a series, and that's a really nice cover, isn't it? I picked up this book at the London Book Fair. This one is published by Accent Press. I also got a nice little bookmark that came with it. The final book that I want to mention that I got in March is Marked by Sue Tingey. I hadn't heard of this book before. I picked this up at Super Relaxed Fantasy Club recently. There is a club who meet once a month in London. They have a couple of authors speaking each month, and for the past couple of months it's been held in the Hachette building. And the Hachette team kindly offer a free book to each person coming along, which has been really cool. So I picked this one up there. This is about a girl who is psychic. I wasn't sure from the back if it was going to be maybe a bit YA or YA crossover, but I've read the first chapter and the main character in it is in her early 20s, so no crossover there, which I was quite happy about because, to be honest, that wasn't really what I was looking for. I was looking for a more grown-up character. I'm probably going to read this one quite soon because I've been missing some fast action-packed fantasy with good main characters. It's quite a thin book, you can see, so yeah, that's probably going to be fairly high on my pile of to read at the moment. And then we're into April, yay! The first book I got in April, I will try and drop in a cover to show you, is called The Herring Seller's Apprentice. This one is published by Alison Busby, who I do now work for, which is partly why I wanted to read it. It is about a writer and his agent. The writer's ex-wife is murdered. First of all, she disappears and then she turns up dead. And the writer and his agent try and solve the murder to figure out what happened. I really enjoyed it for the most part. Probably going to mention it in a reading wrap up soon, but it was a good book. It's a fast read, it's quite short. If you like cozy crime novels, I definitely recommend it. It's set in the English countryside and close to London. My next April book I don't have here to show you. I got from a friend recently, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, which has been kind of a book that I've been meaning to read since high school, to be honest. So for about 10 years, since one of my friends first recommended it to me, and now I finally have a copy in my possession to read. I also got Attention All Shipping, which is a non-fiction book. If you're not aware, and I imagine there's a lot of people who don't know, the coast around the UK is split into sections, and they do a shipping forecast to describe the weather in each of those sections for anyone who might be going out in a boat. The book is someone looking at each of those shipping areas and talking a bit about them. I grew up on the coast in Scotland, so and went sailing with my family, so I've always been aware of them. And one of my pets was named after our local shipping area, so I do quite want to. I'm looking forward to reading the book and learning more about these various areas. I also got from this friend The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This book is about a group of classicists and a murder, basically. I first heard about this book when I was at university. I did study classics, and a couple of my friends from my course have read it and really recommended it to me. So I'm really glad to be getting into it. I've made a start. I've not got very far in, but I'm really enjoying it so far. So that's my reading at the moment this week. I will let you know what I think about it soon. And then another book that I want to talk about is one that I got earlier this month from Glance for review, and that is From Darkest Skies by Sam Peters. I have not read this one yet, but I'm planning to soon. The paperback just came out this past week. This is about a man whose wife has been killed. He thinks that she's been murdered, or there were suspicious circumstances around it. So he has done his best from computer files to recreate his wife's consciousness and put her into a robot. And this is about him investigating what happened, what was going on in her life that she wasn't telling him about in the lead up to her death. It's also about his feelings for this robot that's now got his wife's consciousness in it and things like that. Sounds like a really interesting sci-fi novel. I don't read all that much sci-fi, but I've been getting more and more into it lately, so I'm looking forward to reading this, and I will let you know what I think about it very, very soon. The other night I went to the Orion Bloggers event and I got a few books there. Everyone was given a copy of The Last Namsara by Kristen Ciccarelli. I'm really excited about this book. It's a proof and you can see it's absolutely gorgeous. It's got all this lovely foiling on it. This is about a dragon hunter and a world with dragons in and secrets that people are keeping. I love dragon stories, so I can't wait to get into this one. It comes out in October. I've got a couple of review books come out a bit soon that I'm going to read first, but The Lure of Dragons is pretty strong, so I'm going to get to that one very soon. Some of the other books that I picked up at the Orion event were Stranger of Tempest by Tom Lloyd. I don't know much about this one, but I've seen the book around a lot since it was published, I think, last year, and it sounds pretty good. I will let you know more about that once I've read some of it. I also got Rune Marks by Joanne Harris. Joanne was one of the readers there at the event, talking a bit more about one of her new books. I'm actually currently reading The Gospel of Loki, which is set kind of with similar mythology to this, looking at the Norse mythology, so I'm excited to get to this one after that. I picked up Heart of Granite by James Barclay. I've never read a James Barclay book, but he's meant to be a really good sci-fi writer, and my boyfriend is really into sci-fi, so I mostly got it for his benefit, and if he likes it I will probably read it. I haven't looked too much into what the specific one is about, but I have heard so many good things about James Barclay, and I've seen him on a few panels before. Another book that I got that I'm really excited about and really disappointed I don't have here to show you because the boyfriend has pinched that one too, is Blackwing by Ed MacDonald, and I am definitely going to be reviewing that once I've read it. That one comes out in July. And then I have The House of Binding Thorns by Aliette Bodard. I have about 30 pages left of The House of Shattered Wings. This one follows on from that, or is set in the same world at least. So I really enjoyed the first book, and I definitely want to find out what's going on in this. Those are all my books from March and April, finally. If you've read any of those, or you like the look of any of them, please let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to have a video sooner than this gap again. I will talk to you soon. Bye!